chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. I looked over Jordan, and what did I see? Coming forth to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming forth to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming forth to carry me home. If you can bear me for I do, coming forth to carry me home. Tell all my friends I'm not coming to, coming forth to carry me home. Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride? Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Oh, rock me, Lord, rock me, Lord. Come and eat it. I got hold on the other side. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Oh, rock me, Lord, rock me, Lord. I got hope on the other side. Why don't you swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Let me ride. Oh, rock me, Lord, rock me, Lord. I got hope on the other side.
All praise, all praise. Shalom, 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 peace and greens to my brothers and sisters of the nation of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another end of the week Sabbath class. I'm your brother Ananias.
Brother Ezekiel.
And we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And as always, it's an honor and privilege to come before you each and every week with another edifying class. This day, today, this week is no different. We appreciate you brothers and sisters tuning in as always. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share this content with your brothers and sisters, with our brothers and sisters, for our upliftment of the nation and the restoration of our nation. But before we get started, we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai being his son, who the world calls Christ in the Paleo-Hebrew. And through his strength, sacrifice, and example, we are all able to be here today to be uplifted and edified in the spirit. So as always, we appreciate you brothers and sisters tuning in and those who will tune in later on, Lord willing. Hey, we're going to get into it. We got a good class, some good knowledge, some good wisdom for our brothers and sisters tonight. And it's going into a topic that, most of us have heard. You should have if you've been in this truth for a minute. But for those who are new, who have not, hey, this is something that you should be wanting to know. Your spirit should be yearning for, to understand what is your purpose. Why are you here? Are we just here on a day-to-day basis to go to work and pay bills? What's the end result? Why do we live the life that we live? What is the end game? And that's why today's class is called Special Deliverance. Who shall be saved and how? Special deliverance, who shall be saved and how? Because for far too long, we've been hearing myths, stories that just been made up, or lies that have been fabricated to believe or have us to believe that everybody's included in salvation, in the Lord's redemption, or his salvation. I put it that way. I misspoke on that. we've been taught and misled to believe that salvation is for everyone. And as an Israelite, as a repentant Israelite, or just an individual waking up into this truth, or as a person on this earth, you need to realize, hey, salvation is not for everybody. Contrary to what you have seen in the movies, what you have heard in the church for decades and for centuries, hey, salvation is not for everybody. And it's not for the Jewish man. You know, it's not for Amalek, the Ashkenazis. It's not for them. And that's what we're going to get into tonight. Now, as you've seen in that opening video, we've all heard that song before, but we never knew and understood why or what it actually meant. Swing low, swing chariot. It's an interesting topic, something interesting that we all should understand. A lot of things that we've heard over time, we just never really understood what it actually meant. For instance, that phrase, I've been working like a Hebrew slave. Why is that what's the word I'm looking for? Prevalent amongst us? You know, we've always heard that term. I heard that term when I was a kid. Still hearing it even up to this day, 2024. And it wasn't until coming into this truth that I actually understood exactly what it meant. Been working like a Hebrew slave. Because we are the Hebrews. Everybody on this class should know that by now. But if you're new to it, hey, understand that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the Hebrews that the Bible speaks of, the Hebrew Israelite. You know, when it said we've been working like a Hebrew slave, hey, when you do the background work or do the due diligence, you will find out that we as a people been in the slave trade or been in the slave market for a while. We've been working up under these other nations for a while now. But it's due to our rebellion as a nation of people, not understanding what we're supposed to do. Or even when we did understand, our people rebelled consistently against the Most High, forcing his hand to put those curses or put all those great evils upon us as a nation of people. So what we aim to do tonight is to show you who salvation is actually for and how we will be delivered. If it's everybody or if it's just the children of Israel. So let's open up with the book of Genesis chapter 15 right quick. Let's go to the book of Genesis. And we're going to start at chapter 15. You got that, King?
Verse 1.
We're going to start at verse 13 to 14.
All right. The book of Genesis, chapter 15 and verse 13. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
So this is the Most High, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, speaking to Abram, whose name would later be changed to Abraham. He was talking about his seed that would come forth from him would be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them. So in that land we would serve our enemies, and there they shall afflict them, meaning persecute us for 400 years. Read on.
Verse 14. And also the nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance.
So the Lord said, and that same nation, also that same nation that we gonna serve, the Lord was going to judge. And afterward shall they come out with great substance. So who was that nation that he was referring to in the beginning? He was talking about Egypt, the land of Egypt, where Moses came through the hand of the Lord to deliver the Israelites out of the hand of Pharaoh, out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. He came to deliver the Israelites from oppression, from affliction. So that land that we would serve in, that we would be afflicted in, the Lord said that, hey, I would judge them and afterward, we're going to come out with a great substance. All right. So from there, let's go to, so that's basically right there showing you this is prophecy. Now, the one thing you would know about the scriptures is that the Lord requires that has passed. So things going that have happened in the past will happen again. So we went into the actual physical land of Egypt. Now we living in the spiritual land of living in a spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Let's get that in Revelation 11:8 right quick. Revelation 11:8, just to show you how things correlate.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
So are we living in the land of Egypt now? No. But we are in a land that is spiritually Egypt. Why? Because when you look on the back of the dollar, it got the pyramids on there representing slavery for us. You know what I'm saying? That's how we know that this place is spiritually Egypt. Why? Because our people were shipped from all over the world to this land to be oppressed, to be afflicted by our enemy, the Egyptians, the modern day Egyptians. And it's also a land full of sodomites. That's why it's called spiritually Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Now, when it's talking about our Lord was crucified, it's talking about everything about Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai was crucified here in this land. Not only here, but all around the world right now, but mainly here in Babylon, the great United Snakes of America. In this land, Christ, Yahweh Shai, is a so-called white man. And everything that we know about him has been taught by our enemies, and they make nothing up but lies about him and who he is and what he stands for, about his people, about the words written in the scriptures. So he has been crucified, killed again in this land, which is why our people who are here are spiritually dead, lacking understanding, no knowledge as to who they are, what they're supposed to be doing, which is why this verse said, and their dead bodies, meaning us as a people, our dead bodies, our dead state of mind, shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. We walking around as dead bodies, dead individuals, not knowing who we are, what we're supposed to be doing, like damn zombies, following the ways of the world, following the heathen, following our enemies, not knowing which way is up. All right, so we living in spiritual Sodom and Egypt. All right, but let's go back to the book of Luke, or let's jump to the book of Luke right quick, just to stay on task. The book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 68 to 71. This is a classic precept that we bring out quite a bit to show our brothers and sisters that we will be saved from our enemies, letting them know that we are not saved yet, because a lot of our people had a misconception that because they put their head in some water that they were saved all of a sudden, you know. But no, we're not saved, you know. And we'll read through this just to prove that and show you more prophecy, by the way.
What
Read that,
chapter
King.
is that, brother?
Luke chapter 1, verse 68.
Okay.
I'll read it since I'm already there.
All right.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 68. It says, "Blessed be the Lord God of Israel," not the whole world, but of Israel, "for he have visited and redeemed his people." He didn't say all people. He said his people, the people of Israel, "and have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David." All right. So that horn represents strength. Strength of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, not all people. "As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began." So since our people been on this earth, since Adam and Eve, guess what? The prophets been speaking about us being saved from our enemies, that we should be saved from our enemies. That's what our people in this world don't understand, especially those with the Christian mindset. They think that they are saved already, as if they go into the kingdom and know nothing about the Most High, know nothing about the kingdom. nor about the requirements to enter the land, to enter the kingdom. You know, they think that they are saved because they went to church and they paid their tithe money and they've been going all their life, but they've been lied to and misled and misguided. They have been beguiled just like Eve was in the beginning by the serpent, by believing in lies. Reading it again, Luke chapter 1, verse 71, that we should be saved from our enemies. Should. Not all of us going to be saved. And from the hand of all that hate us. So the ones who are actually obedient and the ones who are diligent in doing the things that are required, those are the ones who the Lord going to save. The ones who will endure. All right. So this is prophecy right here showing you that the Lord is going to save our brothers and sisters. And it also has been spoken since the beginning. All right. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. We're going to start at verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 30.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it
We're
shall
going to read
come
to 10.
okay. Verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all nations, whether the Lord thy God have driven thee, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I commanded this day, thou and thy children with all thy heart and with all thy soul. Verse 3.
So this right here is explaining that we don't have to, as a nation of people, go through both the blessing and the curse. We're going to have to go through the blessings and the curses as a nation of people. And then the Lord said, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations where the Lord thy God have driven thee. So this is why you have brothers hitting the corners, the highways and byways all around the world right now. We already went through the blessings when King David, when King Solomon was in rulership. We understood, we felt the blessing. We were in the land dwelling and multiplying and increasing abundantly. But then we rebelled as a nation of people, and then we had to go through the curses. We fell from heaven, from a high rulership standpoint, from a high status, to falling down below everybody, below all nations. So we went through the blessings and the curses. Now we have to wake up in these last days, and then we got to call to mind all the things that the Lord has done for us among all the nations, whether the Lord have driven thee. Let me get another reference to that right quick. Let me go to Tobit chapter 13. I bring this out quite a bit as well, but it's just another reference. All right, this is Tobit chapter 13, verse 5, and it says, confess him before the Gentiles, ye children of Israel, for he hath scattered us among them. There, declare his greatness and extol him before all the living, for he is our Lord, and he is the God of our Father forever. And he will scourge us for our iniquities, meaning punish, and will have mercy again, and will gather us out of all nations whom he have scattered us. You see that? Tobit spoke about that, how he's going to gather us. All right. Going back to Deuteronomy, though. The Lord said, if we shall return unto the Lord thy God and shall obey his voice, according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thy heart, not some of it, not when we feel like it, and with all thy soul. Read on, King.
Verse 3. That then the Lord thy God will turn the captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy God have scattered thee.
You see that? Then the Lord, once we turn back to serving Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, doing what's required of us as an Israelite, doing the things that are pleasing to the Lord, then the Lord will turn our captivity, meaning get rid of the captivity that we in. Have mercy upon us, have compassion upon us, and will return and gather thee from all nations. This is future prophecy that was written and spoken by Moses. Now, were we even in the land of Israel at the time? No. We were in the wilderness on our way to the promised land. So this was future prophecy that had not even happened. We didn't even have an opportunity to learn all the laws yet. He was still breaking it down to us. See that? But it was already prophesied through Moses that the Lord was going to return and gather us. Prophecy. Future things to come. All right. Keep reading though.
Okay. Verse 4. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee.
So if you living in an island, you think you in a remote location where the Lord can't find you or see you, hey, you sadly mistaken. The Lord said, if you driven out into the outmost parts of heaven, the Lord gonna gather you, gather us, his elect, his inheritance, the apple of his eye, Israel, his first beloved. Read on.
Verse 5. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy father.
So he said he's gonna put us back in our land, and he's gonna do us better than he did our forefathers. That's something to look forward to. Because when you read about our forefathers, hey, they was living it up. Doing all the things that we so wish and dream of right now. We already had it. We had fame, glory, honor, money, honorable wives, honorable husbands, what else? Families, big families. We had a loving mindset. We had unity. We had love among brethren. The Lord said, I'm going to multiply thee above thy fathers. What'd you say, King?
Everything that we don't have now.
Exactly.
The exact opposite.
Right. All praise. Read on verse 6.
Verse 6. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live.
You see that he said the Lord thy God will circumcise our hearts, meaning cut off the wickedness that we have to endure in these days, in these foreign lands, in the land of the wicked. The Lord said he's going to circumcise thine heart, meaning our minds. Not the heart that Esau told you is in your chest pumping blood, referring to your mind and your thoughts. He's going to circumcise that, cut that off, sever that, separate wickedness from righteousness. And the heart of thy seed, meaning our children. And teach us to love the Lord thy God with all thine heart. Every thought that we have going to be toward the Lord. And with all thy soul, that thou mayest live forever, live abundantly. Right now, we struggling to just keep our head above water. That ain't living right there. We walking around on eggshells everywhere we go. That's not living. We working our ass off to stay broke. That's not living. We working for a whole year to take a 3 or 4 day vacation. That is not living. Your people getting gunned down every day, filling the prison system, breaking up the household. That is not living. Just because you can go to the mall and buy some shoes, buy some pants, buy some jewelry, that is not living, my brothers and sisters. When we get back to where we're supposed to be in our own land with the Lord right there, He's going to circumcise our hearts. Cut off them wicked thoughts that we think we living in right now. Cut off this nightmare. This bad reality, or this I just say this nightmare right now. Read on though, King. He said that thy soul may live as though. When you read Proverbs 7:2, he said, keep my commandments and live. Right now, our people don't know the commandments. And when we do, we struggle to keep them. So we, once again, are not living. But read on, King.
Verse 7. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
And that's one of the reasons why we should be focused and stay focused diligently, day in and day out, knowing that the Lord will gather us. Israel. He will gather us. It's already written several times throughout the scriptures. But also that he's going to put the same curses that we're going through right now on our enemies. The ones who hate us, the ones that persecute us. The Lord going to put all of this hatred that they put on us on them. Only if we do this. Read on.
Verse 8. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. Verse
All
9.
right. Now go to we're gonna go to the book of Baruch right quick. Let's go to the book of Baruch, chapter 4. So we reading right there what? Prophecy. The Bible is a book of prophecy and history filled with our heritage. It's our family tree, the photo album, if you will. Baruch chapter 4, verse 25.
All right.
This is what we got to understand and know why we do the things that we do.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4, and verse 25. My children, suffer patiently the wrath that is come upon you from God. For thine enemy have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction, and shalt tread upon his neck.
Now you might be saying, hey, I thought this class was talking about deliverance. Why are they still talking about persecuting the enemy? Be patient, brothers and sisters. Be patient. Listen to what the Lord just told us. My children. He didn't say all people. My children, meaning the house of Israel. Suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from Yahweh. For thy enemies have persecuted thee, but shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. So our enemies, they're going to get there. But we got to suffer patiently and accept what we have done and the punishment that comes our way in order to receive our salvation, our redemption, our deliverance. Read on.
Verse 26. My delicate ones have gone rough ways, and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies.
So we were caught as slaves, taken away as a flock of caught by the enemy. Same way they catch them fish up in nets, the way they catch these animals, put them in chains, cages, same way we was taken away. Read.
Verse 27. Be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto God, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you.
So the Lord is telling us to be of good comfort. When you read Sirach chapter 2, he say, all things that come your way, take cheerfully, the good and the bad. Job knew that. Why don't we know these things? But part of us being delivered, we must understand this. We must be of good comfort. Cry unto the Lord in order to be remembered, because he brought these things upon us. Read.
Verse 28. For as it was your mind to go astray from God, so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
So as it was for our mind to go astray, meaning to separate, to turn our backs, to give the Lord the cold shoulder, to say, I can do this on my own. I don't need you. I did this. For it was in our mind to go astray from the Most High. So being returned, repented, bethinking ourselves, seek him 10 times more. Seek him harder than you seek that job you go to and be oppressed that you hate to go to. Seek him harder than you want to pay them bills day in and day out. Seek him 10 times more than you want to live your life. Seek him 10 times more. Read on.
Verse 29. For he hath brought these plagues upon you, excuse me, for he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation.
The same one that brought these plagues upon us is going to give us everlasting joy with our salvation. Meaning it's a joy that ain't going to never end. We going through a little phase of pain right now. But the Lord said, hey, I'm going to bring you everlasting joy. Everlasting joy. You know what I'm saying? So he says, suffer and take these things, being comforted through this pain. Let me get Micah chapter 4, verse 10 right quick. Go to Micah chapter 4, verse 10. And it reads, be in pain and labor to bring forth, O daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. For now shalt thou go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered. There the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. You see that? So the Lord said, be in pain, like a woman getting ready to give birth. We got to be in pain, laboring, not sitting on our ass, not just saying what we want, doing what we want. Hey, we got to be in pain, laboring. No pain, no gain, as they say. O daughter of Zion, meaning Israel. In Babylon, that's where we're going to be delivered. That's the same place we're going to be taken from the hand of our enemies. Think about that. So we got to labor in pain. Going back to Baruch, he said, be of good comfort, O my children, and cry unto Yahweh, for ye shall be remembered of him that brought these things upon you. It's just like your parent, you in there crying, getting that ass whooping, Salaki, excuse my language, but you putting that belt on your children, they crying out, hey, you hearing it, hey, you gonna have mercy on that when they crying out to you. You know what I'm saying? You gonna give them the necessary licks for the crime or for the punishment that they did, for the offense against you, for the trespass. But if they crying out to you, you're going to remember who they are. They are your children, the ones whom thou lovest. You know what I'm saying? Jumping back down to, go ahead, King.
It's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 5. And it reads, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For God proved them and found them worthy for himself. Verse 6.
That's right.
As gold in the furnace have he tried them and received them as a burnt offering. So this is what we're going through right now. Most High said that is a little chastisement. But if after we will do it, we shall be greatly rewarded after we endure it.
That's right. Our praise for that. We have to endure it. Just like getting that whooping. Hey, you can't run out the parent room. They got the door shut. Hey, they got that belt there. Hey, ain't nowhere to go. You know, you got to take that.
Right.
All right. Going back to Baruch. Let's see. Start at verse 30. Baruch chapter 4, verse 30.
All right. Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee the name will comfort thee.
So the one that gave us our name, he's going to comfort us. Read.
Verse 31. Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall.
The same ones who rejoice at our fall, at our miscues, at us being on the bottom, the ones who laugh at us being beguiled by their trickery, who rejoice at our fall. Read.
Verse 32. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons.
So the end result, they're going to be miserable. Read.
Verse 33. For as she rejoiced in thy ruin and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation.
Who is the Lord talking about right here? I'm going to show you right quick. Let me go to Psalms chapter 137. Who is the she? Let's go to the book of Psalms chapter 137 right quick. Who is the she who our children have served? All right. 137 verse 7. It says, Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof, meaning burn it down. The children of Edom, those are the so-called white folks of today's time, who said, raise it, talking about our city, our land, burn it down to the ground. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. You see that? So that's what it was talking about in Baruch. Let me read that verse 9. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. So we're going to take their children and dash them against the stones the same way they did ours. I know a lot of our brothers and sisters don't want to hear that. That ain't the Lord I serve. Hey, it's written. We didn't make this up. This is thus saith the Lord. All right. But the Lord is talking about Edom, who was laughing. Our brother Edom, who was laughing. Talking about burn their land down. They was rejoicing. Going back to Baruch. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, the daughter of Babylon, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. She's going to be burnt to the ground, destroyed. All her greatness and glory going to be destroyed, just like ours were. All right. Read on.
Verse 34. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be returned into mourning.
So that pride that she has, that they have right now, even with their new presidential elect, that pride that they have going to be turned into mourning. Read.
Verse 35. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting. For fire shall come upon her from the everlasting, long to endure, and she shall be inhabited of devils for a great time.
So them devils is already here. When you read in Revelation, this land is filled with every foul spirit and devil, like a foul cage. Read on. But she's going to be burnt with fire is what we want to bring out of it. Read on.
Verse 36. O Jerusalem, look about thee toward the east, and behold the joy that cometh unto thee from God.
So Yahweh is going to deliver us. Let me see. From there, let's go to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. Now we're going to start getting into the things that we really want to hear, that a lot of brothers and sisters are tuned in to hear. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11. Lord willing, you brothers and sisters is reading along and taking notes, understanding the precepts, understanding what's written down for our future endeavors. You know what I'm saying? What we are striving to seek or to reach, the kingdom, to be delivered, to be ruling over our enemies, to dash their little ones against the stones. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11.
All right. The book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand against thee a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the island of the sea.
So the Lord going to set his hand to recover us, the remnant of his people, from all lands. Read.
Verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
And that's what you have going on right now. The ensign, the signs. You know what I'm saying? You got the brothers on the highways and byways all around the world right now, putting this work week in and week out, rain, sleet, or snow, out there waking our brothers and sisters up.
Right.
Being that ensign for the nation, assembling the outcast of Israel. That's our job. That's our mission. We have to go out and wake our brothers and sisters up. The Lord told us it's a light thing to wake up the tribes of Jacob. But that's our mission. That's how this job is going to get done. going all around the world, just like he said in Matthew. When this gospel is preached in all the world, the four corners, then the end shall come. The truth is slowly but surely going out. And that's why you see the things happen that you see going on today. All right. So let me see. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23. Jeremiah chapter 23. Because when you read the scriptures and you talk about an Exodus, the only thing that our people or majority of people think about or remember is us coming up out of Egypt as a nation of people. When Moses led us out of Egypt across the Red Sea. But check out what the Lord said. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23. We're going to read 1 through 8.
All right. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Verse 2.
Hold on. Salak. Started, let me see. Yeah, start at verse 7.
Okay. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, and verse 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all countries whether I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land.
So what is it saying? Hey, we ain't going to be talking about us coming up out of Egypt no more. We're going to be talking about how the Lord delivered us out of the north country. What is the north country? North America. How he delivered us out of all of this wickedness. You know what I'm saying? From the land of the north. That's what we're going to be talking about. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 right quick.
Hey, let me bring something out right fast, brother.
Go ahead, Ken.
And the reason they're going to be talking about us being delivered out of the land of the north instead of us being delivered out of Egypt is because this deliverance is going to be a much greater deliverance. It's going to be a much greater deliverance from when we were delivered out of Egypt.
Correct.
It's going to overshadow that deliverance from Egypt.
That's right.
Get delivered from the north.
Let's go Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 verse 1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. So as we continue to wake up as a nation of people, guess what? We become more bold, more knowledgeable, more built up in the spirit, where we'll stand in front of anybody to break down this truth, putting our lives on the line day in and day out for this truth, for the Lord, for Yahweh Shem Yahweh, for the love of our brothers and sisters. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, meaning these other nations. When they start seeing us stand up on the highways and byways speaking this truth, willing to give our lives for our brothers and sisters, hey, they're going to see that and be in terrible fear. They're going to be troubled and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they have looked for. So when they see us being delivered, that's going to be strange to them. They're like, what the hell is going on? These are God's people. Just like it said in Isaiah, surely our fathers have inherited lives. They told us that we were God's people. Mm-hmm. But they being delivered. He coming to save them. They going to be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation. When they say his salvation is talking about Jacob, talking about Israel. Mm-hmm. So far beyond all that they have looked for. They ain't thinking about us being saved. That's why they run around the world teaching lies that everybody gonna be saved. Nah, the Lord got other plans. Read on. Verse 3. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. Not these Negroes, Not the ones who always late, who eat nothing but chicken and watermelon. Not these Negroes. The ones that's showing their curves, that want to wear wigs, who men don't want to raise their families, who gunning each other down, who killing each other. Not these folks. Nah, that don't make no sense. Verse 4, we fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. So they thinking back, looking at us being delivered by the Most High, and they're like, I can't believe these are the people. All the witchcraft that we put on them, all the lies that we taught them, all the foolery that we had them involved in, these are the people being delivered. We must be some fools. How is he numbered among the children of God? And his lot is among the saints. Therefore, have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. You see that he ain't rising for them. Christ did not rise for them. That's what they're going to realize, because they telling right now that Christ, God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, and whosoever believe. No, that ain't going into all nations, to all people. Let's prove that right quick. Let's go to John chapter 11, verse 47. Then we'll come back. Let's go to John chapter 11 right quick. John chapter 11, verse 47.
All right. The book of John, chapter 11, verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man does many miracles.
Talking about Christ, read.
Verse 48. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come over and take away both our place and nation.
Read. So they were concerned not about what Christ was doing, but the fact that they would lose followers in Rome. The Romans would take away their place of rulership. Read on.
Verse 49. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all.
Read.
Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
You see that? He was telling them, y'all are not considering what's written, that one man should die for the people, for the Israelites, that the whole nation perish not. Read on.
Right.
Letting you know right there that what Christ did not die for all people. He did not rise for them, but he perished for and rose for our nation. Read.
Verse 51. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahweh should not die for the nation, for that nation.
See that? He prophesied that Christ was going to die for that nation. Read.
And not for a nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
See that? But he should also gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad. Who was scattered abroad? It wasn't all nations of people. Let's get one more precept, then we'll go back to Wisdom of Solomon. Let's go to James chapter 1, verse 1. In the New Testament, I ain't write this down, just popped in my head, but James chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. You see that? James was talking to the 12 tribes that were scattered abroad. Once again, making reference to what we were reading, where the heathen, where our enemies would say, therefore have we erred from the way of truth. They speak nothing but lies. They come out the womb speaking lies. The Lord told us that in Psalms 58:3. and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. We worried ourselves in the way of wickedness and destruction. We have gone through deserts where there lay no way, but as for the way of the Lord, we have not known it. You see, that's what they all gonna realize when they see us being delivered. Once again, letting you know what? That deliverance, who is it for? Who shall be saved and how? It's not gonna be for all nations. It's for the nation of Israel.
Right.
They don't know the way of truth. They have worried themselves in the way of wickedness. How to destroy and conquer another nation of people. Not how to serve the Lord. Not how to teach truth. They have worried themselves in the ways of wickedness. What have pride profited us? Or what good have riches with our vaunting brought us? He ain't did nothing. See that? All those things are passed away like a shadow, and as a post that has hasted by, and as a ship that passes over the waves of the water, which when it is gone, the face thereof cannot be found, neither the pathway of the keel in the wave. So just like the ship, when it go through the water or through the ocean, you ain't gonna be able to find out the path that it went when we disappear, when we are delivered from this land. Just like the bird, when it's flown through the air, there is no token of a way to be found. Which way they came, which way they went. That's how it's gonna be when we are delivered. All right. So what I want to show now is go into how we will be delivered. In what? Just like that song said at the beginning of the video, hey, swing low, swing chariot. What were they referring to? Let's get into it then. Bear with me. Where the video at? All right.
Aren't you coming, David? No, I gotta see it.
Now you might be looking at that and saying, I don't know about that, brother. You might be a little you might be a little far-fetched with that, man. I don't believe in that. A lot of our people, they think, I've talked to some individuals, they think we're not going to be delivered this way. They think that we're going to go back on ships and go back to our own land. That's not written in the scriptures. They think that the water going to open back up and we're going to walk back to where we came from. That's not a special delivery. That's not what the Lord said that the people are going to be talking about. Now, when we were delivered out of Exodus, that was a great Exodus. Just thinking about the events that took place, the darkness, the hell with the fire on it, the killing of the animals, the river turning to blood, the water split. The sea splitting, the Red Sea splitting, and we walking across that, and it coming down on the Egyptians. That was special. Mouth dropping, you know what I'm saying? Words couldn't even speak that. So you mean to tell me our deliverance, which the Lord said we're going to be talking about this going forward, us getting back on ships or walking back across the water, that's going to be more spectacular than what happened in the past? Come on now. What's actually written in the scripture, what we're going to get into next, is what's going to be jaw-dropping, amazing to be seen, something that ain't never been seen before. You have something you want to add, King?
No, I just was saying, people think that when the scripture said we're gonna be called up to the cloud with the Most High, that is the cloud what they talking about right there.
That's
People
right.
don't know.
Yeah, let me get a picture right quick. So as you've seen in that, bear with me right quick. as the brother was talking about, this is what people thinking about, the rapture. This is what the heathen have put in our minds, that everybody just gonna disappear, be floating into the sky. Everybody going. But the one thing that our people fail to realize or don't even look up is that word rapture is not even in the Bible. That word is nowhere in the Bible. Just like it's a whole lot of other words that our people or that these heathen refer to that are not in the Bible, like the Nephilim. When you read about giants in Genesis chapter 6, all of a sudden you get the word Nephilim out of nowhere. That ain't in the Bible. But they add these different things, different references, different words with different meanings to detour or mislead individuals. But this is what our people think is going to happen. Everybody's going to be drawn up, disappearing, thinking that everybody's going to be delivered. Nah. And the main question we don't ever ask is why, if everything's so good, why do we need to be delivered? Why does everybody need to be delivered? If it's true, think about it. Everybody don't need to be delivered because everybody's not being oppressed. We as a nation been oppressed for a minute now. We in the hand of our enemies, being done wrong, persecuted, afflicted here in these lands all around the world. All right, due to our rebellion. But let's go to where I wanted to go. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 26. Salaki. Isaiah chapter 26. And we're going to start at verse 20 and 21.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 26, verse 20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy door about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed.
So this is letting us know what? That we going to enter into the chambers and shut the door. So we going to be going up into something that has a door. The Lord said, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed, meaning destruction. Read.
Verse 21. For, behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain.
You see that? So we supposed to come up into the chamber, shut the door, enter into the chamber and shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation have passed. Just like Noah had to when he went into the ark. The Lord closed the door. Just like the Lord gonna gather us and close the door. To be hid from that indignation, from the wrath of the Lord. Let me get Zephaniah chapter 2 right quick. We'll come back to that. Zephaniah chapter 2, 1 through 3. Just to show you that this is what's required of us as a nation of people. You got that, King? I'll read it.
Okay.
This is Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. It says, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. This is a classic precept that we bring out all the time, but the Lord requires us to gather ourselves together. Unify. O nation not desired. Why? Because we are hated, persecuted by all other nations. It says, before the decree bring forth, meaning that judgment day, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you, seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, meaning you humble and obedient of the earth, which have wrought his judgment, seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. That's what we talking about in Isaiah. That's why he said, "Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers." We got to gather ourselves together, bethink ourselves, dive into these scriptures, start building our spirit back up, keeping these commandments, learning the feast days, learning the things that are required of us as Israelites, so that we can be aware, be ready, be aware of the signs of the end times. So when we see these things come, we'll be prepared when the bridegroom comes. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. And that ain't talking about like it was when the C-19 was out. You know, that ain't what the Lord was talking about. Stay in the house. That's what they wanted. You know, that ain't what he was talking about in there. He talking about in our deliverance. Hey, come, enter into thy chambers and shut the doors about thee. Hide thyself for a little moment while this indignation is going on. This judgment is going on Babylon for all the wickedness that we read in verse 21. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity, for the sins, the wickedness that they have done upon us. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. Meaning the innocent blood of our brothers and sisters who have been slain. The Lord gonna punish them for all that wickedness that they did. All right. So from there, let's go to showing you how this chamber is actually is a cloud. Let's go to Matthew chapter 25 right quick. Matthew chapter 25. We're going to get into it a little more. Bear with me. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a little parable right here, but it's mighty nonetheless to show you exactly what I'm talking about when it's talking about the chambers. Start at verse 1, King. Matthew 25 and 1. We're going to read down. Read on.
All right. The book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be like unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
Come out, Christ. Read.
Verse 2. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish.
Read.
Verse 3. That they were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise.
And oil is representing understanding. They ain't taking no understanding. They trying to make it to the kingdom, but they ain't taking the understanding that the Lord has in his word. That's the oil to keep that fire burning, to keep it lit. They're not taking that oil. They said, to hell with that. I know enough. They ain't filling themselves up with the oil to keep themselves burning, keep the spirit burning. Read.
Verse 4. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps.
Read.
While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept.
So while Christ is waiting to get the word from Yahweh to return, he waiting. They all slumbered and slept. Read.
And at midnight there was a cry made, behold, the bridegroom coming, go ye out to meet him.
Christ is on the way. Read.
Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. Verse 8. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves.
So rather than studying and building yourself up, when the time came, they didn't know what to do. So they was looking to the ones who was constantly putting that oil in, trying to figure out what to do. And it was like, hey, look, ain't enough for both of them. Go ye rather to them that sell and buy yours. Go get your oil for them who you believe in. Read.
Verse 10. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in. Hold up. And they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut.
You see that just like in a marriage chamber, they go into the chamber. I mean, during a marriage to make it complete, they go into the chamber, the wedding chamber. You see that? And while they went to buy, meaning those 5 foolish, the bridegroom came, meaning they were not prepared. And they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. You see that? Read.
Verse 11. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he
Read.
answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not.
Read.
Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh.
So this is a parable breaking down how our people have to be ready. We can't just be out there damn twiddling our thumbs, sitting back, cracking our toes, watching TV and scrolling. We got to be building ourselves up, keeping that lamp lit with the oil of the word, being prepared, being aware of what's going on in the world in these last days. You know what I'm saying? Watch, therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour when the Son of Man cometh. But I wanted to bring out in this parable how when he came, the ones who were prepared, who had their oil lit, who were paying attention, when the bridegroom came and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. The door to the chamber, to the chariot that we will be delivered in, just like the 5 ones who had the oil, the wise ones. All right. From there, let's go to, let me see. Let me show you again. Let's go to Revelation chapter 4, verse 1. Revelation chapter 4, verse 1.
The book of Revelation, chapter 4, verse 1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit what.
Revelation chapter 4, verse 1.
My bad, bro. Book of Revelation, chapter 4, verse 1. After this I looked, and behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was as it were of a trumpet talking with me, which said, Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter.
So it was saying, come up hither into this door. A door was opened in heaven. All right. Let me see. Is that what I want? Let's go to Revelation 11 right quick. Revelation 11, verse 12.
The book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them.
You see that? Once again, we went to this verse earlier in verse 8 in the beginning, talking about how our dead bodies would lie in the great city of Babel or Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. When you read on down, it talks about how life entered into us. All right. In verse 12, it said, and they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. This is what we were talking about earlier in Wisdom of Solomon. When our enemies, they shall be amazed at the strangeness of our salvation. Our enemies beheld them. They looking up like, damn, those are the children of God? I thought we were. Enemies beheld them.
Mm-hmm.
Read on. Well, now, you know what? Let's go to let's see. Let's go to Psalms 104 and 3. Psalm 104 and 3. Psalm 104 and 3.
Book of Psalm, chapter 104 and verse 3. Who layeth the beam of his chambers in the waters? Who maketh the clouds his chariots? Who walketh upon the wing of the wind?
I wrote that down wrong. But it's still going into who maketh the clouds his chariot. So what we're going to go into is breaking down in a minute what the chariots actually are, how they look, you know. I'm going to just start at verse 1. It said, bless the Lord, O my soul, O my God. Thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. Who covers thyself with light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chamber in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angel spirits, his ministers of flaming fire. All right. So the clouds, his chariot. A chariot is used to transport. All right. Just like you've seen back during the ancient Greek and Roman times, they used chariots for transportation. But it said that the Lord used the clouds, maketh the clouds his chariots to transport, you know, and that's what we're going to get into. All right, let's go to let's go to Ezekiel. Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then we'll go to Ezekiel. We're going to show you what they look like, and then we'll get some more detail. All right, let's go to Ezekiel. What I said, Zechariah 5. Zechariah chapter 5, 1 and 2.
All right, book of Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll.
Oh, what?
A flying roll.
A flying roll. Read.
Go back
Read.
to the script.
Okay. Pull it up in the book.
All right. What was it?
Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1 and 2.
All right.
You got it yet, bro?
I ain't got it yet. How come?
Zechariah 5 and 1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Keep looking for it if you ain't got it.
I got verse 2.
All
You
right.
said
Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1 and 2.
All right. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. Verse 2. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits.
Yeah. So, seen a flying roll. That's exactly what you see right there. That's where they get that depiction from, or that description for these movies that they make. And one of the things that a lot of these producers and directors have all reference to is the Bible when creating their movies. If they were told, I forgot exactly who said it. I need to find that out. But they were saying if you want to make a great movie, you need to make reference to the Bible. So it's no wonder how damn near every movie regarding any type of alien spacecraft or UFO or UAP, as they stated or call it today, they all have similar attributes as to what's written in the scriptures. Flying roll, just like a donut, flying roll. All right, let's go to the book of Ezekiel right quick. Go to Ezekiel chapter 1.
All right.
I mean, is it 1? Yeah, 1-16.
All right. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, verse 16. The appearance of the wheels and their works was like unto the color of a beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their works was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel.
A what?
A wheel in the middle of a wheel.
A wheel in the middle of a wheel. That's exactly what you see going on. A flying roll. A wheel inside of a wheel. See that? Read on.
Verse 17. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went.
Read.
Verse 19. And when the living creature went, the wheels went by them, and when the living
Nah,
creature,
you can skip verse 18.
okay, my bad. Verse 18. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four.
Full of eyes around them. See that? Read that part again. 18.
Verse 18. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four.
Mm-hmm. You see that? Let's see. Read on.
All right, verse 19. And when the living creatures went, the wheel went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up.
Was that it?
Yeah. You want 20?
No, that's it. So what we got from that is a description of what Zechariah seen and what Ezekiel seen. When you start the whole chapter of Ezekiel, goes into the description of the angels that actually ride in the chariots. You know what I'm saying? Just like Yahweh does. It goes into the description of how they look, and then it breaks it down and it talks about the chariot or the cloud that they actually ride in. And this is what we would be going into when it says, come up hither and shut the door, to be hid from the wrath of the Lord. All right. We want to go from there. For instance, let's see. Let's go to I'm gonna give you an example. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 2 right quick. 2 Kings. Because being beamed up, so to speak, as they would say, or called up, it's nothing new. These things have been going on throughout the scriptures since the beginning. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 2.
What do you want? 10, 9, and 10?
9 through 12.
All right. Book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 9. And it came to pass, when they were gone over, that Elijah said unto Elisha, ask what I shall do for thee before I be taken away from thee. And Elisha said, I pray thee, let a double portion of thy spirit be upon me.
So
Verse 10.
Elijah was getting ready to be taken up. Read.
Verse 10. And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing. Nevertheless, If thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee. But if not, it shall not be so.
Read.
Verse 11. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that, behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
See that? That's how he went up into the chariot into heaven. Read.
Verse 12. And Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more. And he took hold of his own clothes and rent them into two pieces.
You see that? Elijah went up into the chariot in a whirlwind. You see that? Into heaven. Let's get another example. Let's go to Exodus right quick. The chariots have been there since the beginning. But the world act like it's something new. Let's go to Exodus chapter 13. We're going to start at verse 21 and 22.
All right. Book of Exodus chapter 13, verse 21. And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night.
Read.
Verse 22. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people.
You see that? It said the Lord went before them. This is when we were in the wilderness coming out of Egypt. It said the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud. What's the pillar of a cloud? Their chariot. To lead them the way. And by night in a pillar of fire. To give them light. To go by day and night. So the Lord was leading us in the wilderness in the chariot. We need to understand these things. This is what we're going to be delivered by, brothers and sisters, the chariots. All right. Let's get another one. Let's go to Acts chapter 1, verse 9.
Book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
Now, this is talking about Christ. When he was taken up and he ascended into the heavens. He was taken up what? Read that again.
All right.
Verse 9.
Verse 9. And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
And a cloud received him out of their sight. Read on.
Verse 10. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel. Verse 11. Which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Jesus which is taken up from you in heaven shall come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
You see that? The same way you seen him go up is the same way you're going to see him come down. That's basically what they're saying. You seen him go up, get beamed up. Same way you're going to see him come down. You see that? That's the same way we're going to be delivered, brothers and sisters. The same mode of transportation. We once knew these things. But because of our heritage being discontinued due to our negligence or our disobedience, rebelliousness, hey, we have been stripped of all of that knowledge. All of the things that we used to know. This is why we have to wake up in these last days and build ourselves up through the Spirit, through these scriptures. Keep our lamps filled with oil, to be available and not, like the sister said, not sleeping. You gotta We gotta be sober. We gotta be vigilant, alert, on watch at all times, not forsaking the way of the Lord for the ways of this world. We got to keep our lamps full, keep that oil on standby. You know, stay on fire, be watchful. You know. From there, let's go to you know what? I just want to show something else as well.
Mhm.
Now, I know a lot of you been seeing a lot of different videos and reports, articles going on in the world, and you're starting to see things in the sky, you know, and that's all due to us as a nation waking up in these last days, coming back to who we are and doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. When we start doing these things, the clock keeps ticking, you know, not really the clock, but the time of judgment ticks further and further until it's almost there to the tipping point. I put it that way. Things are actually activating, for lack of better terms, as we continue to wake up and do the things that we're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So what you see on this article right here says the Pentagon UFO report finds over 700 new cases, with 21 the agency could not explain. And this was in November. Let's see if we can hear what they're talking about. Can you hear that?
Mm-mm.
All right. We'll skip that and just go to this article. It said the Pentagon and the Director of National Intelligence have released the annual report of UFO sightings, and while they still haven't found any extraterrestrial origin for the more than 700 new reports that came in last year, they are about 24 that have them really curious. All right. So UAP is the term the Pentagon and the intelligence community use to describe UFOs, which stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. The agency that reviews all of the new incidents being reported by military personnel and now additional federal agency is the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, as you can see right there, AARO. So they've had a number of different reports that have been popping up every year, especially for the last 10 years. Everything has been increasing. Why? Because our brothers and sisters are waking up. All right. And the more that we wake up and start looking up for our salvation, we start to see these things in the sky, and our spirit and our faith is built up as well. Just like you see in this article right on this chart. Let's see if I can blow it up a little bit. UFOs sightings taking off again. 1990 to what it is. 15, you had over 8,000. Decreased a little bit, and it's starting to pick back up again since 22. You know what I'm saying? And notice, once again, that roll within a roll, a flying roll.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They keep that same description, that same picture. All right. Let me go back and see if it was more in that article. No, all it's really talking about is how there's a disturbing amount of different sightings that are being reported constantly. I did have a video. Let me see. Is that it? Where is that video at?
Hey, brother, and at the same time, that should increase our faith when we see these things, but at the same time, it gonna scare the hell out of our enemy. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they know just like we know.
That's right. But let's go to Matthew right quick. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24. We're going to start at verse 27.
Book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be.
Just like lightning coming out of the east, so shall the Son of Man be coming out of the east. Read.
Verse 28. For wheresoever the carcass is, there shall the eagles be gathered together.
That's
Verse
what they
20.
do. Vultures go ahead and eat dead bodies. Read.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken. Verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Coming with what?
Coming with power and great glory.
See that? Coming with the clouds. Those clouds are those chariots. When you see all hell breaking loose and these missiles dropping, hey, guess what? Yahweh Shah coming back to deliver his elect, that nation, his people, Israel. See the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Read.
Verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
So the angels gonna be picking us up. So what do we need to be doing? We need to be making sure that our ticket is punched, paid for. You know what I'm saying? To be delivered, to be picked up. We don't want to be those five foolish women that didn't have the oil lit in their lamp. Didn't know what was going on. Wasn't paying attention to the signs of the time. Just was trying to take it easy, trying to take the cheap route, trying to take a shortcut. Let me get some of yours. They didn't want to buy the oil themselves. They didn't want to get the oil themselves. They didn't want to squeeze the olive to get that oil. Squeeze them precepts to get that oil out of it. Them parables to get them oil out of it. They just want to sit back and take a shortcut. That ain't how it's supposed to be done. In order to be delivered, we got to read and apply and study constantly and be ready when the Son of Man make his return. And he said he's going to give let me read it again. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect. Who is the elect? The children of Israel. Let me just prove that right quick. Who is the elect? Who are the elect? Wrong chapter. Did I go to the wrong one? Let me see. Yeah. Yet now, this is Isaiah chapter 44. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord, that made thee, informed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jezreel, whom I have chosen. The elect. You see that? I thought I had another verse in there. I went to the wrong chapter. Yeah, there you go. Isaiah 45:4. Salaki, Israel. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. See that? Showing you who the elect are. But going back to Matthew chapter 24, he's going to send his angels to gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So just as we read earlier, it ain't going to be no place that we can hide if we trying to hide, or any place that we would be in this earth that the Lord can't reach us.
Right.
You know? All right. Keep reading though.
All right. Verse 32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, yet know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door. Verse
Talking
34.
about learning the signs of the time. That's what he's talking about right now. Read.
Verse 34. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away.
So the words of the Most High will not pass away. Read.
Verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only.
So Yahushua don't know when he coming back, neither do the angels. Only the Father knows. Read.
Right. But as the days of Noah were, so shall but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
You see that? It's constant throughout the scriptures how everything is symbolic to something else. You know what I'm saying? Let me make another example of that. Adam, he was put in a garden in Eden. That was somewhat of a paradise. You know, the land that was flowing with milk and honey, just like we as a nation of people were put in a land that was considered to be the promised land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Adam rebelled, broke the commandments. Guess what? Adam was kicked out. We as a nation of people rebelled against the Lord. Guess what happened? We were kicked out of our land, thrown, scraped, kicked, brutalized, put into slavery, but nonetheless kicked out of our land. So a lot of things are symbolic to the things that happened in the very beginning. And as the scriptures say, the thing that has been, the Lord will require it again. You know, just like we were, it was prophesied to Abraham that his seed would be in a strange land, serving, being afflicted, but will be delivered. It happened. Just like we still in a land that's foreign to us, and we would be afflicted and persecuted, but we would be delivered, and that nation would be judged on our behalf. And that's what happened in every captivity that we were in, damn near. You know. But read verse 37 again.
Verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So just like it was during the time of Noah, it's going to be the same way with the when Yahweh shall return. Not the same details, but we'll read it in verse 38.
Verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark.
So they was out there partying, having a good time, eating and drinking. They going to the fanciest restaurants. They still talking about getting married and, or doing all type of wickedness, giving in marriage, doing all they want to do, enjoying the cares of this world, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. Then it began to rain. Something that they had never seen before started happening. Read on.
Verse 39. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So the same thing gonna happen when Yahweh shall return. They're gonna be out there partying, having a good time. If you watch that movie that I made reference to in the beginning, Independence Day, when you watch that movie, when the chariots was coming, the people was out there partying, having a good time. They on top of the rooftops of the building, making signs, talking about beam me up, having a good time, still partying, still going to the club, not realizing destruction was at hand. Just like it just said in the scripture, so will it be at the coming of the Son of Man. Read.
Verse 40. Then shall be two in the field, the one shall be taken and the other left.
You
Two
see that?
women,
Now this is where they get that rapture right there. Go ahead. Two gonna be in the field and one gonna be taken, and the other one left standing like, what the hell?
two
Hold
women
up, what's
shall
going
be
on? Read.
two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and the other left. Watch
Read.
therefore, for ye know not what hour the Lord doth come. But
That's
know
why
this,
we gotta stay on fire. We gotta stay diligent, dialed into these scriptures, paying attention to the signs of the time. It ain't say be afraid. You ain't gonna see that in scripture. It ain't gonna tell you to be afraid, but be watchful, be observant, be vigilant, alert, paying attention. You know, it don't cost nothing to pay attention, to be alert. Still gotta pay though. You know, watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doeth come. Read on.
but know this, that if the good man of the house had known it what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up.
You see that? If the good man of the house, the head of the house, the man, the husband, if he would have knew what time the thief was, because Christ said, I'm coming back as a thief in the night. If he would have known when he was coming, he would have stayed up. He would have watched. He wouldn't allow his house to be broken up. Meaning one left, two left, and they instead of all being beamed up, being rescued. If the good man of the house had known, how would he know? How would they know? Being dialed in the scriptures. Read verse 44.
Verse 44. Therefore be ye also ready, for in such an hour as ye think not the Son of Man cometh, who then
See
is
that?
a
Be ready. Be ready. Because we don't know when he coming. You got to pay attention to the signs, seeing what prophecy has been fulfilled. And this prophecy right here has to be fulfilled in order for us to be delivered. Let's go get where is it at? Revelation chapter 7. I think. Is that what I wanted? Yeah. Revelation chapter 7, verse 1 through 4.
all right. Book of Revelation, chapter 7 and verse 1. And after these things I saw four angels standing on four corners of the earth, holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
So it's saying holding the four winds of the earth, holding back these militaries from all over the world, holding them back from World War III, holding them back. Read.
Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God and their foreheads.
So this is prophecy right here. And our deliverance cannot happen until we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their forehead. Who are the servants? Once again, let's go get a precept. Psalm 148 and 14. Psalm 148, 14. Precept must be upon precept to explain who is who and what is what. Psalm 148:14. Got that?
Yep. Psalm 148, verse 14. He also exalted the horns of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel. A people near unto him, praise ye the Lord.
You see that? So who are the saints? According to the scriptures, the Israelites, the nation of Israel. All right. Going back to Revelation. Oh, that was the saints. It said until we seal the servants. Salaki Israel. Let me go get another precept. Let's go to Leviticus. You know where is that, King?
Not exactly off the top.
I think I done went. It's Deuteronomy, I believe. Nah, I found trip. Salaki Israel. Read that all right, quick, King.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 55. For unto me, the children of Israel are servants. They are my servants whom I have brought forth out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. I am the Lord your God.
All praise. Another precept showing who the servants of the Most High are, which are the children of Israel. Just wanted to bring that out as well. So angels are charged not to hurt the earth nor the seas until the servants of the Most High God have the laws sealed in their forehead. Read on.
All right.
Read Revelation chapter 7, verse 4.
I got verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
So it's 144,000 that have to be sealed in order for their destruction to occur. You know, and that represents 12,000 men of each tribe that have to have a law sealed in their forehead, in their minds, you know, in order for salvation to begin. This is why our brothers and sisters must push this truth worldwide. You know what I'm saying? Waking up our brothers and sisters of all tribes, not just one, but of all tribes. This is why the gospel must go worldwide to the four winds, to the four corners of the earth, in order for the end to come, so that we will be delivered and put back in our own land so we can be increased, be in rulership, be on top, be free of pain, sorrow, no more tears, no more war, no more death for us as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? This is why we got to be in pain, laboring, whether our feet hurt, whether our backs hurt, you know, whatever. We got to be laboring in pain to be delivered, just like that woman in travail giving birth. We got to be putting in work day in and day out in order to be rescued, to be delivered. All right, I got maybe, let me see. What else I want to bring out? What time is it? It's almost 10 o'clock. You know what? I'll leave it for another time. Going into, once we are delivered, you know, what happens when we actually get pulled up or beamed up into the chariots, into the clouds. What happens afterwards? I'm going to have to continue that into a part 2, the second wilderness. What happens during that time frame? What happens when we're actually in the chamber with the door shut, while the indignation or the wrath of the Lord is actually taking place? What is going on? And that'll be part 2 to that class. But for now, I'm going to leave leave that where it is at. Brother, you got anything you want to add?
I just want to say we got to do all of Israel. We got to try to keep these commandments, because like the scriptures say, the one that keeping the commandment, we will be the one brought forth through the fire unto the chariot. You know, if you're not keeping the commandment, you're gonna be left on earth to be part of the destruction. But we want to be brought through the fire and being on to the chariot.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why it's important to keep the commandments to the best of your ability.
Right. At the same time, you know, as we endure, striving to keep these commandments and going through our ups and downs and trials and tribulations, we must remember to stay dialed in and remember to pray for your brothers and sisters of our nation. Pray for Israel. Pray for the uplifting of your nation of people. Pray for the healing of your brothers and sisters. Pray that the Lord close up them breaches that plague us as a nation, and where he slowly but surely turning these curses on these other nations as we wake up and be obedient. Continue to pray for the healing of your brothers and sisters. Pray for them to dive deep into the scriptures. Pray for them to love one another. Pray for their safety day in and day out, for their understanding, for their uplifting, the motivation, the inspiration of your brothers and sisters. Pray for their well-being, and also pray for the destruction of this wicked kingdom that we living in, that we surely see slowly declining day in and day out. You know what I'm saying? Stay focused, stay alert, stay vigilant, stay watchful, as the Lord stated in several scriptures that we brought out tonight. You got anything else you want to bring out, King?
No, that's it.
All right. So once again, this class was called Special Deliverance. Who shall be saved and how? We, as the nation of Israel, shall be saved. How are we going to be saved? Through our obedience and through the hand of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by the angels who going to beam us up in the chariots, in the chamber, in the clouds to deliver us, you know. And we'll talk about what happens after that in the next class, Lord willing. But I'm Brother Ananias.
Brother Ezekiel.
And we are A.O.I, the Awakening of Israel. And we pray and hope you brothers and sisters learn something tonight and do a deeper dive into the scriptures to find out more. Don't be like those foolish women who didn't have the oil. Don't just take our word for it. Dive deep into the scriptures. Find out more. Build your faith up. Help teach others. You know what I'm saying? Don't take shortcuts. Dive deep into the scriptures and find out more. Continue to build yourself up and build others around you. But on that note, we say shalom, shalom, peace and greetings to you all. And we want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua for the abundance of all things. And on that note, hey, we'll see you brothers and sisters next week, Lord willing. But it's been an honor, it's a privilege. And we say shalom and we out.
Shalom.